Welcome to Horror High, where we get high on horror. This is where we determine the best horror movies of every era and every subgenre and every nuance that there is when it comes to horror films. I am your host, Jose Verduzco, and I would like for you to think of me as a type of messenger because I am not the one that decides which movies get put in these categories. No, it is actually you. That's right. If you are not following me on Instagram, Horror High, I will put a link in the description box down below. This is where you can submit your movie entries as well as actually vote and make the decisions for the movies that move on to the next round. This is tournament style that features 10 contestants submitted by you that eventually you will also vote for who will be weeded all the way down to leave us with only one contestant, the one that will take the crown for the best horror movie of each genre/era. Today, we take a look at an interesting era that just passed us by, the 2010s. There was a lot of very good horror movies in this past era, and there was also a lot of very bad horror movies in this past era. Today, we take a look at the 10 contestants, the top 10 seeds, which are all submitted by you. So once again, do not be mad at me for simply giving you the message of the 10 entries, the ones that I did not pick, but rather the followers of Horror High picked. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the top 10 seeds that you guys submitted, and sitting at number 10 is The Nun. In 2018, a priest with a haunted past and a novice on the threshold of her final vows are sent by the Vatican to investigate the death of a young nun in Romania and confront a malevolent force in the form of a demonic nun. This film was directed by Corin Hardy, and it is a spin-off of the Conjuring series. And the fact that this made it to the top 10 rather than either Midsommar or Hereditary absolutely makes my blood boil. But I don't make the decisions around here, so let's go ahead and move on to number 9. The 9 seed is Evil Dead, the remake in 2013. 5 friends head to a remote cabin where the discovery of a Book of the Dead leads them to unwittingly summon up demons living in the nearby woods. This film is directed by Fede Alvarez. I apologize if I mispronounced his name. I actually did really enjoy this film. It was kind of a remake slash a reboot, if you will, which is basically what the 2010s had a lot of. Number 8, Ready or Not from 2019. A bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. This film is directed by Matt Bettinelli Olpin, I apologize if I mispronounce his name once again, and Tyler Gillette. This was a fun film, but I do believe that I personally would not put it in my top 10, but the fact of the matter is it was submitted by you guys. At number 7, we have Sinister from 2012. Washed-up true crime writer Ellison Oswalt finds a box of Super 8 home movies in his new home that suggests the murder that he is currently researching is the work of a serial killer whose work dates back to the 1960s. This film was directed by Scott Derrickson. This was a terrifying movie, and I think that it left a lasting impression on a lot of horror fans, and I am totally fine with this being in the top 10 seeds. At the number 6 seed, we have Halloween from 2018. Laurie Strode confronts her longtime foe Michael Myers, the masked figure who has haunted her since she narrowly escaped his killing spree on Halloween night 4 decades ago. This reboot was directed by David Gordon Green, and I gotta say, this was definitely one of my personal favorite horror films of the past decade. There was so many memorable moments that I think that a lot of old school Halloween fans definitely appreciated, myself included. At number 5, we have Insidious from 2010. A family looks to prevent evil spirits from trapping their comatose child in a realm called the Further. This film was directed by James Wan, and in my opinion, it was one of the best horror films of the past decade, and it absolutely deserves to be in this top 10. Coming in at the 4th seed, we have Get Out from 2017. A young African-American visits his white girlfriend's parents for the weekend, where his simmering uneasiness about their reception of him eventually reaches a boiling point. This film was directed and written by Jordan Peele. This was Jordan Peele's film debut. This was a very good film. It also had some good commentary when it comes to race, so I believe that this film absolutely deserves its spot in the top 10. But we're not done with Jordan Peele here, because sitting at the number 3 seed, we have Us from 2019. A family's serene beach vacation turns to chaos when their doppelgangers appear and begin to terrorize them. This film, once again, directed and written by Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele's second film, in my opinion, was not as good as his first film, because I really enjoyed Get Out, and I thought Us was good, but I was kind of surprised that more people voted for Us to be in the higher seed rather than Get Out. And now it's time to talk about the top 2 seeds, and for those that don't understand how the tournament will be going, the top 2 seeds will have a first round bye. That means that they will automatically advance to the next round, and they are not subject to be voted for. So the following movies are, according to you, the best 2 horror films from the past decade. At number 2, we have The Conjuring from 2013. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren work to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse. This one was also directed by James Wan. This movie has a lot of spin-offs, so it's definitely left a lasting impression on a lot of horror fans. As for the number 1 seed, we have It from 2017. In the summer of 1989, a group of bullied kids band together to destroy a shape-shifting monster which disguises itself as a clown and preys on the children of Derry, their small Maine town. This remake/reboot was directed by Andy Muschietti. This to me was a very enjoyable horror film. I really did like the remake/reboot, especially compared to the old TV miniseries. I thought that this one obviously had a huge budget, so they could get away with a lot more than they did in the miniseries. But it was submitted as the number 1 seed and also the number 1 movie on our top 10 list. Those are your contestants. Let's do a quick recap. So sitting at the number 1 seed, we have It from 2017, and they will be getting a first round bye, automatically advancing to the next round. Sitting at the number 2 seed, we have The Conjuring from 2013. They will also be getting a first round bye, which means they will advance automatically to the next round. At the 3rd seed, we have Us from 2019. At number 4, we have Get Out from 2017. At number 5, we have Insidious from 2010. Number 6, we have Halloween from 2018. Number 7, Sinister from 2012. Number 8 is Ready or Not from 2019. And number 9 is The Evil Dead from 2013. And at number 10, we have an absolute shocker in The Nun from 2018. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, because that's when the voting will begin. That's when we will get to see who will move on to the next round from all these 10 contestants. There's a lot of good contestants here in this bracket, in this tournament, and there's some questionable ones, but this should be interesting. Let's see how this goes. Thank you so much for watching. I will be seeing you guys tomorrow, where we will move on in the tournament, and also make sure you guys are following me on Horror High, where all the voting takes place on my Instagram. And if you disagree with any of these, make sure you guys are over there so you can submit some real entries for the next tournament that we do. I will see you in the next video. Later.